Ooh. It's the 3-player map. Always a little bit funky. Even though I'm a little bit frustrated today after all the ladder games, I'm still feeling good about it all. You know? There's like frustration, and then there's frustration. There's levels to this stuff. You have to play a lot of StarCraft to get to the internal analysis of the sodium levels. Like, there is a frustration where you can vibe, and you just keep playing, and you just kind of, you know, play through it. And then there is the frustration where you feel like throwing your mouse against the wall. I'm currently in phase 1. Now, it's important to recognize that phase 1 of frustrations can turn into phase 2 real quick. The bridge from phase 1 to phase 2 is not very long. Yeah. Dutch culture has a lot of words for rain. Exactly. People that live in cold climates have a lot of words to describe snow. StarCraft players have a lot of words to describe frustration. It's really a beautiful thing.
Looking for a saltpeter pit in KCD2 and thought of logo. It's not the same thing, but still.
Salt is salt, dude. A little bit of NaCl right over here. Thank you very much, Solifluction, for the 89 months of being a supporter. I don't salt shame. No. It's kind of the nature with anything competitive, though. Like, if you're never frustrated? I don't know. That seems suspicious, too, right? If you compete in literally anything, but you're never frustrated? Maybe you're just a better person than me. That could also be. I'm far from the ragiest player out there, though. I'm also not quite as zen, though, as, say, for example, Neuro. I'm always impressed with how Neuro seems to be able to be okay. I will never be as much a saint as, for example, Idra. Known for always being very stoic about it. Never frustrated. But always be able to think about things clear-headedly, you know? That's a beautiful thing. Okay, my opponent went for a third hatchery as well. I've been playing against a lot of mutas lately. Oh, that's a lot of units. Na 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 na. Buying time, buying time, buying time to get my banelings out. Oh, excellent! It worked. Playing a little bit of Ring Around the Rosie with my opponent. They always appreciate it when you play with their units. Alright, it's time to dance, chat. Put on your dancing shoes. We can dance if we want to. We can leave this world behind. I don't know the lyrics of the song, but I like the tune. Man, this map is so I don't know, feels huge. So many different angles, I guess, to be fighting from.
We require more Vespine gas. Our forces, we require more minerals.
Oh! It's okay. Crisis averted. Now, I hope there's no cheeky little banelings hiding in the corner of my main base. No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, his third base is gonna be dead. I don't know when those are gonna finish. Oh, he's already got a spire. That sound effect was suboptimal too. I don't have that big of an economy, by the way. Like, it's easy to think, okay, I have more bases than him. But it doesn't necessarily mean that I have more income. Bringing all my OVs back. Re-rallying my individual hatcheries. Trying to make some hydralisks. Also, repositioning spore crawlers is extremely annoying.
We require more minerals.
Oh wow, it's actually not burrowed.
We require more.
Okay.
Mineral field depleted.
Trying to get my worker count up to a reasonable level. Well, he dove deep because he saw that the spore crawler was not burrowed. He actually saved up a surprising amount of gas. Okay. How many hydras do we make versus how many roaches do we make? And when do we move out? Is it better to take a fourth? Because if we go pure hydra, we lose to baneling zorkling. If we go too many roaches, obviously we don't have enough stuff to kill the stuff with. We need stuff to kill the stuff.
We require more minerals. We require more minerals.
Is he going into more mutas? Is he going into quick hive? Well, he does have +1 air weapons, +1 flyer upgrade, which is indicative of him wanting to continue down this this Mutalisk road. Looks like we had a couple of banelings attempting. Getting some traits, but... I think those fights are not too terrible for me. I kind of feel like we need to go for an attack. Yeah. I don't have a lot of roaches here, but I don't think he knows that I'm pushing. Now, do I have enough Hydras left over?
We require more minerals.
He was not happy with those little splitties. Ultralisks. Well, these are Altas without chitinous plating, you can tell. Yeah, Ultras without chitinous plating are kind of terrible. I am low-key impressed. Unk still got it. Guys, do we just casually use words like Unk now and assume that it's normal? I feel like a boomer if I ask what Unk even means. In my mind, Unk is the short version of Uncle. I'm assuming it implies somewhat old person but not quite ancient. But older than you for sure. But I don't really know. Unk does mean you're ancient. Oh, it's just a polite way of saying you're old? Okay, I see. Alright, fair. Alright, bet. For real, on God. Like low-key? I thought Unk was... It's old, but respectfully. Alright, I see. Old, but respectfully old. Thanks, guys. How many banelings, or how many workers did I actually lose to his baneling roll, boys? I don't think it was that much. Unk still has it. It's the, yeah. You could say venerable. But venerable is not really of the time. And I guess maybe that has like a slight religious implication, or I don't know. Maybe that's just me. What does low-key mean? Well, you have loco, and then a slightly less excited version of loco would be low-key loco. Does that make sense? That's what that means. Loki is a Norse god. He's a bit of a trickster. That's not me. No. Oh, boomer is derogatory and unk is respectful? Ah, that's the lingo? Boomer still got it. Does sound a little bit rude. Yeah, unk still got it. Does sound slightly nicer. You know, I don't really mind the lingo so much, but the one thing that will always be confusing to me is using a skull emoji to imply laughter. It does not make any sense at all. You know something else I've noticed? From, for example, my nieces and nephews. They do not write like a paragraph and then hit enter to like send the text. They will write like 3 words, sent. 3 words, sent. An emoji, sent. 3 words, sent. 7 words, sent. So like when you get a notification, it's like bzz, 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 bzz. It's not okay, okay? We need texting etiquette. Back in my day, we had to pay per text message. Your brother does that, but he's 39? Maybe he's just rich. He never bothered about paying per text message. All right, how many drones did he kill? All right, a bunch, but that wasn't really worth it. Well, I do have notifications on for some family members, you know? But sometimes it's hard as well to describe. Like, obviously, I'm complaining here about younger people, right? But likewise, my dad as well. Sometimes my dad will text me something like, call me when you're done. Or call me when you're available. Or something along those lines. And that could mean either he saw something funny on the internet or grandma died, right? Like, it could be... What I'm saying is the range of options is significant. Which also gives me nothing to work with. Yeah, so I need a little bit... Millennials win. Yeah, I think millennials, Gen Z, I can work with that. That's boomer texting? It definitely is. It's okay. Guys, can I just look at my own splits here for a moment? Like, if Maru is watching this and he wants a little bit of help, maybe Clem or something, I'm willing to coach you guys into splitting your units. Because you gotta stutter step while splitting. Alright, so what you do basically is you see the units, and then you like control click, and you start splitting, but you also try to stutter step, and then you keep the splits going, but you hold position on some of them, and then you attack move again in the concave. Now that was hot right there. Did you see that? I've been trash talking my own performance on the ladder today for basically 90% of today's live stream, but that was pretty loco. Yeah. If you don't count any of the losses today, I have a 100% win rate. Yeah. If you creatively interpret the stats, it works out in my favor. I'm glad I actually kept playing through the frustration, guys. Yeah, ultras are just, oh my lord, these are unupgraded ultras, and he didn't even start chitinous, and he doesn't have a single carapace upgrade. What in the world was he thinking was gonna happen? Has this man not hurt enough? Yeah, ultras are a funny unit. They did nothing. Yeah, meat ready to be butchered. You guys want to see? It's very interesting. Like, unupgraded Ultras die so easily, whereas, like, fully upgraded Ultras are kind of insane. He thought you'd be so scared of his mutas he would have time. Yeah. But the distance on that map is actually not that long. Like, it's a map with loads of expansions, but going from, like, the forward fourth to their natural isn't really that long of a distance. Okay, so we're gonna do one Ultralisk on the left, and then 100 Zerglings on the right. Okay, let's do 200 Zerglings on the right. So unupgraded, right? Unupgraded. How many will he kill before he dies? He killed 80. 80 Zerglings. Now we give the Ultralisk 3/3 and chitinous. And we do the fight again. How many will he kill this time? Place your bets in the chat. Yeah, he's gonna kill all of them. He's gonna kill 200. Yeah, it's not even gonna be close. You see the way in your back? I just saw stop. You can just see the tummy like that. Bump is getting huge. Yeah. How many Zerglings do you think it can actually kill? $400? I think 450 is like the starting point. It's actually kind of nuts. Don't say that, Priv. Dude, it's actually owning it. It's just destroying it. I think about 800 something, looking at these numbers. There's a little bit of RNG, of course. Oh, top. Okay. Yeah, obviously a bit of a weird situation. Yeah, this isn't really something that would actually happen in a game. Yeah, so do you guys want to know the math? I have written out the math many times, but I can give you the math. If you want to be extra nerdy about all of the little details, here's how it works, okay? Let me take out my trusty notepad. Damage calculation. This is going to be on the test, take notes. Damage calculation in StarCraft 2. Can we read this? Is this, I don't care. Just make it large. All right. Damage calculation in StarCraft 2, right? Calculation, right. Every unit has like a base attack damage. And every unit has like a base armor. Right? So it have a base attack, a base armor. And then you have extra upgrades on top of it. So you can get upgrades as Zerg from the Evo chamber. You can also get, for example, as an Ultralisk, you can get upgrades from... what's it called? The Ultralisk Cavern, right? So the way that it works is base damage output, right? So base attack of a unit plus its attacking upgrades minus armor or base armor of the attacked unit minus armor upgrades of the attacked unit with a minimum damage of 0.5. So what ends up happening in this scenario, right? So if we want to calculate it for this spot, for the Ultra versus Zerglings. So the Zerglings have a base attack of 5. Right? They have base attack of 5. And then we have the Ultralisk with a base armor of 2. So Zerglings, 5 damage, right? Ultras, 2 armor. So without any upgrades, it is 5 damage plus 0 minus 2 minus 0 equals 3, right? So unupgraded scenario, Zerglings will deal 3 damage to an Ultralisk. However, when you start upgrading the Ultra's armor, like for example, you get plus 3 carapace. For example, you get chitinous plating. That's another 2 armor. You end up in a situation where the number would technically be below 0. Meaning that it is a minimum of 0.5. So there's this like trade-off. Now, obviously, if you get to a situation where the Zerglings have plus 3 melee as well, the math again works out a little bit differently. Actually, in this scenario, it might be identical. No, not quite. Anyways, it gets a little bit confusing sometimes, but that is generally how it works. Now, I feel like this is one of the things, though. If we can criticize StarCraft 2 for anything, because StarCraft 2 is a really bloody good game. But upgrades are so critical, yet there is no communication in-game at all of those upgrades being applied, right? Like, there is no visual indicator on the Ultralisks having a certain set of upgrades. I don't really know if you could easily do that. I wonder if it would be, for example, doable to get, like, the Ultra's pincers to be slightly bigger when they get plus 1, plus 2, plus 3. Maybe their spikes on their heads to be slightly more spiky. Maybe no spikes at all and no armor upgrades, right? Like, something to, like, visualize whether or not the unit is upgraded. Because the upgrades are so massive, like, they make such a big difference. Yet, there is usually no visual indication at all. And I think that's one of the reasons why, for example, games like Stormgate and I think even Zero Space and stuff as well, although maybe they've changed it, they don't usually play with, like, Engineering Bay upgrades or Evo Chamber upgrades or Forge upgrades or whatever. Yeah, like, Zerglings get a little wing when they get Metabolic Boost. Roaches get, like, the spikes on their heads when they get Tunneling Claws. But I think having some visual indicator, because it's so big, but it's always difficult to explain. Like, I can show you the numbers, but the actual implications are really different. Right? Like, if we go back again to... Let's clear it all. Like, another very common one, for example, is Zealots. Zealots versus Zerglings, right? Actually, we should probably just do one Zealot and then a bunch of Zerglings. That's not Zerglings, that's drones. So normally, a Zealot will deal 3 attacks to a Zergling before the Zergling dies. So, 1, 2, 3, right? If you give the Zealot +1 ground weapons, that same fight is gonna be way better for the Protoss player. Because it now only takes 1, 2. But there's no visual difference on the actual unit. Like, it's a huge improvement in that particular fight. It adds up so quick. So even though technically it's only slightly more damage, in actual, like, realistic scenarios, it makes all the difference. Yeah, roughly, attack upgrades give 10% extra damage. Yeah. They could do little things, though. Like, you could definitely give a Zealot, like, a different side blade. Yeah, you could change the color of the blade. Or you could, like, I don't know, make the shoulder pads not be a thing at 0-0, but give them shoulder pads or maybe the Vam bracers or something with upgrades. I don't know. Maybe it's stupid. Maybe it would make the game overly messy. But it is kind of like veterancy. But there's no indicator of it at all. Obviously, they spawn with it, so it's not really veterancy, but... More toes? More toes. 0 toes with no upgrades. 3 toes when they have 3 upgrades. Yeah. Putting the... Oh yeah, they become pro toes rather than pro toss. But there's a lot of little exchanges like that in the game that do make a big difference. Another common one, for example, in a lot of games of Zerg versus Zerg is Zerglings going up against Roaches. So again, unupgraded across the board. It's a similar setup as with the Roach, or sorry, with the Zealot. So unupgraded, 1, 2, 3. But you can see the breaking point is when the Roach gets +1, because then we only take 2 hits to kill it, which does make a very significant difference again. So in that previous game, for example, that we just played, my opponent didn't have any armor upgrades, so those Lings and Banes died really quickly, meaning that maybe if he would have had +1 armor, I couldn't have split against the Banelings nearly as easily, because my Roaches and the Hydras would have been obstructed by the Zerglings requiring an extra hit. Yeah, exactly. So you would go from having 1 model per unit to like 16 models or so, which is kind of a lot. So I don't know if it's viable, but all I'm saying is like it is a big deal. Upgrades really make a difference, but it's never visually that apparent. Yeah.